How better go there? How better go there? How better go where? How better go here? Better go here? How better now? Better go.
Property tax auction. Welcome back. I'm Ted Thomas. I've been involved in tax defaulted property and tax lien certificates for well over 30 years. Property tax auctions are taking place in over 3,000 plus counties across the United States. The business attracts people who want to buy bargain properties. So that might not just be people that want to do fixer-uppers, might be people that want to be flippers and people that want to be renovators and whatever. But property tax auctions are taking place in all of those counties, and they're all advertised online and they're offline. So maybe you're an entrepreneur. So people have different personal and professional ideas and motivations of what they want to do in the future. I don't know what your motivation is, but if you're looking to be famous, well, you can do that as an entrepreneur. Most people are doing it because they want to make a lot of money, and you can certainly do that, but you're going to have to create something that solves a lot of problems for other people. Now, one of the biggest reasons people become entrepreneurs is they actually don't fit into corporate America. Now, what does that mean? In other words, they don't want to do robotic work where they're doing the exact same thing every day. So if they don't fit into that template, when they want to work and work on what they want to work on. So that's not just a play on words, but a lot of people like to do what they want to do when they want to do it and not work on someone else's timetable. So I know a lot of entrepreneurs, they quit the job they have at 40 hours and they go home and work 60 hours to make the same amount of money, but they're doing what they want to do. So this is that kind of business. You can do what you want to do when you want to do it, and the rewards are quite high for those people that really learn to do it. So it's not unusual to find others in the real estate business that are attracted to the property tax auction business. Now, many of those people are people that want to flip houses. We'll take a good look at that as we go through this particular video. And we're going to talk about how to find houses to flip and how to find properties that you can buy for 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents on the dollar. I'll be right back with some more information. So ask yourself this question. If you could buy slightly used and abused properties and they were available for 10 and 20 cents on the dollar, and then you could turn around and resell them using eBay, using a multiple listing, using Craigslist, using Zillow, you're getting the idea. If you could do that and you bought them for 10 or 20 cents and you could sell them for 50 or 60 cents, how many of those would you want to do? Would you be able to do that to sell them to fixer-upper people or people want to renovate? Well, of course you could. There's something to think about. So if that would work for you, let's talk about that for a little bit, because your local county needs money and they have properties that they're going to auction.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get her going here. Start me off. Where to bid to go? Have it $1,000, open it up.
And you can go to those auctions and buy properties for 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents on the dollar and have a nice margin. So if you could buy for 10 or 20 cents and sell it for 50 or 60 cents, you got a nice margin. That would help you take care of your family, and it would help the local county because they need that money to pay their bills. So if you're willing to work, and most successful people are, this might be a business that you want to get involved in. Now, some people want to make a multiple of six-figure income. You can make a six-figure income in this business. So think about outside the box a little bit, and we'll talk a little bit more about property tax auction. So if you're a problem solver, that's what this business is. It's a lot of problems. People that can solve them do very well. So if this business, you don't need a fancy license. You don't have to get a license from the state. You just need informational programs that you learn how to do it. And once you learn how to do it, you can do it for the rest of your life. This is really part-time work with full-time income. Anybody that wants to do it can do it. You just have to decide and learn how to do it. So lots of people out there are going to advise you on tax lien certificates. Some of them are young, some of them are old, some of them are your relatives. They all seem to know, are able to give you a lot of advice about it. But the challenge is they don't have any expertise, so they're probably not going to really be able to help you out. How are they going to help you if they don't have the expertise? So they intend to help, but unfortunately, it's really not going to be the help you need because they don't know themselves. So this is something you're going to have to learn. It's going to take a little while. So it's important that you realize that the people are trying to help you, but because they haven't studied tax liens and deeds, it's not going to be help at all. Very important that you understand all that. All right, now there's plenty of opportunities in this business. Anybody can do it. The governor doesn't say you need a license. Anybody can go to a tax defaulted auction. Many of the auctions are conducted live, and they also do them online. All right, I suggest you think about a coach or a mentor to help you out. Why? Because that accelerates the whole process. Why not accelerate and get the process really moving? All right, now the official county treasurer is authorized by the legislature to sell tax defaulted property. So they auction them off. Now the Board of Supervisors and the county commissioners, well, they're going to oversee this whole thing, but it's mandated that they sell tax defaulted property. So if the property owner doesn't pay the property tax, the treasurer is going to issue many default notices. All right, now that's a legal process called due process of law, where they issue a notice of default. After a number of those notices of default, if the property owner hasn't paid, they're going to levy the tax. When they levy the taxes, then they're going to confiscate and seize that property. Well, the treasurer doesn't want that property. I can tell you that right now. They don't need any property. The county already has enough property. So the county has levied on the property. Now they own the property. They're going to sell it at a tax defaulted auction for 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents on the dollar for the starting bid. Now, I don't know what it will end up at. The highest bidder gets the property. So the idea is try to buy as low as possible. So you can buy it low. That's going to allow you to be able to sell it low. So if you can buy for 10 or 20 cents on the dollar, why not sell for 30 or 40 cents on the dollar? All right. So these bargains are sold at public auctions, online and offline, year-round in 3,000 plus counties across the United States. All right. Now the properties are sold and the sale is final. There's no redemption at the majority of these auctions. When there's redemption on the tax deed, I'll tell you about it, but those are in rare cases. Only 6 of the states have redemption value. Now, this is not a piece of cake. This requires a little bit of experience and learning how to do that so you can buy properties and you can resell them. Now, some people come to my classes. They're people that have already had experience. They love this business because they can buy the property low, sell it low, and move on and make some money. So property tax auctions are really used and abused properties. Some of them the junk. You don't want to buy the junk. Others just need a little fix up, clean up, paint, and that kind of thing, and they're ready to go, and you can resell the properties. So don't get me wrong. This is not like falling out of a rocking chair. There's no work. You're going to have to do some work. I can assure you it's going to be exciting. There's going to be work, but there's plenty of them. There's an abundance of tax defaulted properties across the United States, 3,000 plus counties. I'll tell you more about that in just a second. All right, now this can be a startup business or it can be a side hustle, whichever you want. There's no license required to do it. This is a business you can do part-time, but you can earn full-time money. One tax defaulted property, you can earn enough money to make your house payments, to make your car payments, and have enough money left over after that one deal to go on a month-long vacation. This is a money business. You buy it right, and then you sell it to a fixer-upper person, a person that wants to do renovations, those kind of people. Flippers, they love this kind of property. So we buy them low, and we sell them low, and we move on into the next one. As I say, over 3,000 tax defaulted properties. Now, this takes a commitment on time. Every business, it depends upon how much time and effort you put in. So you have to make a commitment, put in the time, but it's a part-time business. 5 or 10 hours a month is adequate to do this business. When you sell a property, you're going to make big money on the property compared to a lot of other things. Now, these tax auctions have been around for 200 years. It's an alternative investment. Anybody can do it that wants to learn how to do it. Buying real estate always has consequences. There's good and bad to real estate. So I'm not an attorney, so I'm not giving you legal advice, okay? I'm not an attorney. I'm not a broker. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm an author and a publisher, and I am an investor in tax defaulted property. All right, so just because you don't know all the legal things doesn't mean it's not going to apply to you. So right now I'm pointing out the highlights. This is a business you can buy. You can do this year-round. And in Florida, if you happen to want to learn it more in depth, you want to know the statute number, it's 197. Anybody can go to that statute and you can read just about what I'm saying to you today. You'll notice in reading and researching that the clerk presents you with information on the county website. Now that you need to beware because everything is sold as is. So buyer beware. Everything is sold as is. The disclosure is this: the county makes no warranty as to the condition of the property, and they make no guarantee that the title will be clear. It's going to be a quitclaim deed. So the accuracy of the data is always going to be up to you. Condition of the property is up to you. Clearing the title is up to you. Keep that in mind, because that's why you want to buy low, because you might have to take time to get that title clear. Now, throughout the video, I try to give you some interesting examples. I'll give you an example right now of what could happen at a tax defaulted auction. So in a local county with a small population just north of Tampa, Florida, one of my students purchased a property for $9,100. Now keep that number in your mind, $9,100. Turned out the property was used and abused, completely overgrown with trees, but the tax assessor said the value was $91,000. So they paid $9,100, but the value was $91,000. Now the student used the techniques that we teach and went out and checked comparable values and understood the property was worth a lot more than $91,000. He did that prior to even purchasing, and purchased the property for $9,100. Well, let's make the story finish and have a good ending. Well, the ending is this: paid $9,100, sold it on a leased option to a fixer-upper guy. Fixer-upper guy said he would lay in new floors, clean it up, clean everything up, make it look good. He sold it for $150,000. Now, folks, how many deals would you have to do if you purchased a property for $9,100 and you could sell it for $150,000? Ask yourself, would that make a difference in your life? I'm sure it would. Now, I'm going to run out of time on this video, so right below me, where you can get an auction list. You see those little white circles? That's how many auctions are taking place within that state in the next 90 days. This calendar updates every single day. I'm here today to show you how to make money. To do that, I'm going to show you briefly that there are thousands of tax defaulted real estate properties across the 3,000 plus counties in the United States. This is quite interesting. You're looking at the Ted Thomas Magic Interactive Map and Auction Calendar. It changes every day. Now, I created the calendar and the map so I would know how many auctions are taking place every day in the United States. Now I can show the little guy how to make money. Most importantly, I created this system so I could have an auction list for each auction 24/7. The small population counties will have dozens, maybe even hundreds of tax defaulted properties to sell. The large population counties will have hundreds, maybe even thousands of tax defaulted properties to sell. If you'd like to have a list of those properties, you can go right below me and you can request a list, and then you'll know where and when to buy these properties. I'm Ted Thomas. Don't forget, request your free auction list right below me.